In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to center and trim a basic bowl on the pottery wheel. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do when trying to find a bowl is you want to figure out how hard it is, right? If it's in the right consistency. This one is getting to the point where it's almost too dry, so we got to trim it really fast. Some way for you to know is it should feel firm to the touch. You shouldn't be able to push on it. When I make a mark in it, it should like show up, but it shouldn't like give at all. Okay, so this one's pretty ready to go. So the next thing you want to do is flip your pot upside down on the pottery wheel and center it. We can do this one of two ways. We can do it by tap centering or by centering with our finger. And this is the method I'm going to show you today. So it's important to note that whatever part of the pot you touch, that is the part of the pot that you're centering. So we want to put our finger closest to the foot because that's the part of the pot we want to center. To do this, place your elbow on your thigh and brace it there. And then as the pot is spinning, slowly move your finger out toward the pot until it barely touches the pot, again, as it's spinning. It should look something like what you see here. As the pot moves around and gets furthest away from your finger, stop the wheel and scoot the pot or move it half the distance, and then repeat the process over and over and over again until the pot is completely centered. In other words, your finger touches the pot all the way around. You want to be really intentional about this because if the pot is off center by any degree, this will impact how even the foot is when you go to trim it. Next, you want to place a hand on top to keep it from moving and pin it in place using wads of clay. You can use 3 or 4. You just want one across from the other to keep it from moving while trimming it. And now you're ready to trim. So take a trimming tool of your choice. I like to use the large trimming tool because I feel like it gives me the most options. Now with one hand on top and gripping the tool firmly so as not to lose control, I'll use both hands to guide the tool into shaping the outside edge of the pot. I'll always start with the outside edge because it cleans up any of those burrs along the surface. I'll define and refine this shape to be just the way I want it before moving on to the inside edge. It's important to note that in throwing and trimming, you're always trying to brace yourself as much as possible. So you'll notice that I'm using both of my hands to brace the tool so that it doesn't get out of control. I'll also use this time to refine the outside edge and shape of my pot, taking off any excess clay and making it lighter and more of the shape that I'd like it to be. After trimming the outside, I'll move to the inside. Here I'll make a mark to define where the inside edge of my foot should be. If I need to, I'll trim down some of the height of this edge to make it even, but I want to be careful not to trim off too much so that I don't carve a hole through the bottom of my pot later. After doing this, I will begin to redefine that line and start to trim out the middle section. Again, I'm using both hands here. It's really important that you remain steady when doing this because it's really easy for your tool to get caught and then drag through the clay, tearing off more than you want. I'll repeat this process over and over again, removing layer by layer until I've reached the depth that I want. If your clay is soft enough, you can press on it, and if it gives at all, you should stop trimming. If your clay is not, then you can tap on it, and the more hollow the sound, the thinner the clay is. Although I find this a little bit more difficult to do myself, sometimes it's what you have to do. When I finish, I will remove the lugs and stamp in my maker's mark. And the pot will be finished. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. if you want to see other videos, check these ones out over here. Keep at it, never stop growing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.